attack now!
Hi, my name's Professor Silver, and in today's class, we'll break down the battle-hardened history of Ash's Staraptor, detailing his journey from an upstart starly into one of the deadliest birds of prey the anime has ever seen. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Prior to meeting Ash, Starly lived a peaceful existence within the forest of Route 202. Unintentionally, Ash ended his tranquil life in 2 degrees of separation. His Aipom disrupted Starly's flight, gave the bird a bump on the head, and forced him into battle. Despite the pain Starly incurred, the resulting scuffle ultimately proved a godsend for Ash. He was in desperate need of a Pokemon that could provide scouting support because he had recently deposited Swalot with Oak, traveled to Sinnoh, and lost Pikachu to one of Team Rocket's schemes. Starly nearly thwarted his efforts by tanking Swift, using Whirlwind, landing Quick Attack, and getting Slap Happy with Wing Attack, but Aipom did just enough damage with Focus Punch for Ash to catch him. Much like Ash's other normal flying types, Starly was immediately loyal after capture. To prove his allegiance and when Pokemon worlds collide, he helped reunite Ash with Pikachu. In that same episode, he also battled Team Rocket and fought Paul's Starly. Despite his best efforts, Paul's Starly tanked Quick Attack, landed Aerial Ace, activated Double Team, and won with a powerful blow. Although Ash thought his Pokemon performed admirably and would soon make for a powerful ally, Paul believed the Starling's strength and lackluster moveset to be utterly pathetic. Starly may not have started out as a powerhouse, but he always tried his best whenever called upon by Ash. Besides providing utility support in the episode Getting Twiggy with It, he also worked diligently to learn Aerial Ace in a Staravia is Born. After hurting his leg during training, he was snatched by Team Rocket and placed in a cage full of birds. To free himself, he teamed up with a Hoot Hoot and tricked Meowth into releasing his brethren. By leading them all to freedom, he revealed himself a natural Sky Captain. When Team Rocket tried to take their revenge, Starly responded to their affront by evolving into Staravia. In his first act as an evolved Pokemon, he revealed his limitless potential by blasting off the trio with newly mastered Aerial Ace. Despite the form change, Staravia kept the true-hearted personality he maintained as a Starly. Like the rest of Ash's flyers, he scouted for Ash, blew away smoke, and popped hot air balloons. He also stopped Team Rocket's many schemes and occasionally fell to their advances. Uniquely among Ash's birds, Staravia was also something of a goofball. In Steamboat Willie's, for example, he despaired at awful music and danced up a storm. Other instances of his wacky nature include stopping Swineup's gluttony in Lean Mean Team Rocket Machine, and his lusting after a robot in Jumping Rocket Ship. In spite of his goofiness, Staravia was still a warrior at heart, just like his predecessor Swalot. Because he loved to fight, he fell into disarray in a gruff act to follow when Ash didn't use him against Rourke. As consolation, Ash used Staravia opposite Eterna gym leader Gardenia. The flying Pokemon proved no match for her speedy Turtwig in the grass type Is Always Greener, but he came back with a vengeance during the rematch in the Grass Menagerie. Against her Cherubi, Staravia dodged Solar Beam, missed Wing Attack, flew away from Magical Leaf, landed Quick Attack, and won with Aerial Ace. He relished the opportunity to get his revenge on the gym leader's Turtwig, and even did major damage with Aerial Ace, but ultimately fell to Leech Seed and Tackle. To help ease the pain Staravia felt from the heartbreaking defeat, Ash tried to supercharge his abilities at the Heart Home City tag battle in the episode Smells Like Team Spirit. Unfortunately, Paul's Torterra defeated both Holly's Farfetch'd and Brock's Croagunk before the bird landed a single attack or gained a crumb of experience. Although Paul thought little of Staravia's performance at the tournament, his brother Reggie believed the bird was destined for greatness. After Reggie beat Staravia with his Swalot and Lost Leader strategy, the breeder, his Staraptor, and Ash worked effortlessly in crossing the battle line to help him master Brave Bird. By mastering the attack in a triple fighting chance, Staravia established himself as a huge threat in Ash's arsenal and proved to Reggie that Ash's training style was truly the opposite of Paul's.
He's just the opposite of my brother.
The first test of Brave Bird's mastery took place when Ash fought Veilstone gym leader Maylene. At the battle's start, Maylene's Machoke intercepted Quick Attack, withstood Gust, brushed off Staravia's attacks, fired off Cross Chop, did major damage with Brick Break, and used Seismic Toss. In spite of the setbacks, Staravia broke away from Machoke's hold, won with Aerial Ace, and then faced Meditite. Meditite detected his attacks, upped its attack power with Meditate, tanked Gust, bounced off the wall, landed Drain Punch, stopped Aerial Ace, and gave Staravia a massive headache, so Ash swapped him for Chimchar. Once Meditite sowed confusion, Staravia returned to the field, foiled Drain Punch, and won with Brave Bird. Although he then fell to Maylene's Lucario, the match confirmed him as a worthy successor to Swalot. Following the proving of his self-worth, Staravia fought galactic Golbats in saving the world from ruins, and entered the Squallville Pokeringer in pursuing a lofty goal. During the qualifying rounds, he made quick work of a Skarmory, Fearow, and Swablu. In the finals, he continued his dominance by taking an early lead against Paul's Honchkrow. Honchkrow overcame Brave Bird, fired off Night Slash, connected with Dark Pulse, let loose Aerial Ace, and stole the ring, but Staravia refused to quit and snatched it back immediately afterwards. After Honchkrow retaliated with Sky Attack, used Night Slash, preempted Quick Attack, and sent him plummeting, he gathered all his strength and evolved into Staraptor. Honchkrow tried to stay calm and win with Night Slash, but was no match for the Predator Pokemon. To demonstrate his massive upgrade in power, Staraptor pummeled the Dark type with close combat, barreled through a counteroffensive, went full force, and slammed the ring to victory. The win was especially poetic, as it refuted Paul's claim at the saga's start that he was nothing but a weakling. It was also significant, as it helped Paul understand the merit of Ash's friendship-based training style. Before delving into the rest of Staraptor's adventures, I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Squarespace. Because of Squarespace, creating and marketing your website has never been easier. The all-in-one platform makes it easy to build, manage, and maintain your online presence. Using Squarespace's award-winning templates, you can design a website in almost no time at all. On platform, you can also purchase a domain, manage all your analytics, and run stellar email campaigns. If you're raring to display your online portfolio, build out a digital resume, or start an e-commerce business, I highly suggest you start your free trial for the platform as soon as possible. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/AlexSilver and use the code AlexSilver to get 10% off your purchase of a website or domain. And now back to Staraptor's history. Evolution made Staraptor more ferocious, but did little to change his caring nature. As examples, he rescued falling girls and tried for the family stone, helped Gliscor fly better in mastering current events, ferried Pikachu in unlocking the red chain of events, and regularly devastated Team Rocket. Because he presented a huge threat, the trio often devised strategies to counter his aerial maneuvers. Beyond using nets in a meteoric rise to excellence and pointy fingers in a marathon rivalry, they also stopped his advances using a Mecha Staraptor in an elite cover-up, and the power of love in For the Love of Meowth. In addition to the trio, Staraptor also honed his skills against Snowpoint Gym Leader Candace's Medicham. The Psychic Fighting type stopped Quick Attack, intercepted Aerial Ace, and fended off close combat, but Staraptor ultimately won out with Brave Bird. Even though Candace's Abomasnow handed him a quick defeat thereafter, Staraptor didn't stay down long. During Ash and Paul's full battle and Pedal to the Metal and evolving strategies, he redeemed the loss and regained his status as a heroic fighter by tanking a Stone Edge from Paul's Torterra. Following Paul's swapping of Torterra for Weavile, Staraptor unleashed an incredible Quick Attack. Weavile did major damage using Sword Stance, Blizzard, and Metal Claw, but Staraptor showed massive determination, fended off its attacks with close combat, and triumphed with Brave Bird. After a brief rest, he then gave his all against Paul's Ursaring. Ursaring won out with Focus Blast, Slash, and Hammer Arm, but Ash kept faith in Staraptor's abilities. He believed the Bird of Prey a true champion, so he used him against Nando in the Sinnoh League's first round. Upon emerging from his Pokeball in League Unleashed, Staraptor fought Roserade. Though Roserade dispersed Sweet Scent and upped the intensity with Magical Leaf, Staraptor made the Grass-type Solar Beam look like child's play and came out on top with Brave Bird. Winning the battle exhausted all his energy, so he then fell to a single Rock Blast from Nando's Armaldo. During the league's quarterfinals in Familiarity Breed Strategy, Staraptor first battled Paul's Gastrodon. Gastrodon countered Quick Attack with Muddy Water, overcame Aerial Ace with a smothering Body Slam, and shot off Water Pulse, but Staraptor saved himself from utter defeat by striking the ground with close combat. He followed up by tanking Ice Beam and returning to his Pokeball, so Weasel finished things up in his stead. Staraptor's next appearance in the battle took place against Drapion in a real rival rouser. Regrettably, Drapion intercepted Aerial Ace, doled out pain with Cross Poison, and won with Toxic Spikes. Despite the loss, Ash beat Paul anyway thanks to Infernape. Soon after the league ended, Staraptor went to Oak's lab so that Ash could start fresh in Unova. Although life there is likely far less exciting than his adventures in Sinnoh, Professor Oak revealed in the fires of a red-hot reunion that he regularly races Swalot and Ash's other flying types to keep himself in tip-top shape.
Sounds like a lot of fun!
While we await Staraptor's comeback, let's get to his battle record. Staraptor won against Gardenia's Cherubi, Maylene's Machoke, Maylene's Meditite, James's Carnivine, Galactic Golbats, Paul's Honchkrow, Candace's Medicham, Paul's Weavile, and Nando's Roserade. He lost to Paul's Starly, Gardenia's Turtwig, Reggie's Swalot, Maylene's Lucario, Meowth, Candace's Abomasnow, Paul's Ursaring, Nando's Armaldo, and Paul's Drapion. Move-wise, Staraptor used Gust, Quick Attack, Wing Attack, Aerial Ace, Brave Bird, and Close Combat. Staraptor echoed Swalot's personality traits and method of evolution, but differentiated himself through his eccentric quirks, unique moves, and narrative connection with Paul. Like Swalot, he also would have benefited from a few more episodes of character development. I would have loved it if the writers fleshed out his rivalry with Honchkrow, pursued his characterization as a flying version of Brock, and allowed him to form deep relationships with Ash's other Sinnoh Pokemon. Had Staraptor done just a little bit more, it may have been remembered as more than just a regional bird who loved to battle. On that note, class is adjourned. I'd like to extend a special thanks to both Squarespace and the channel's patrons for their support. If you'd like to watch videos early and get access to other exclusive perks, make sure to sign up for Patreon via the link in the description. For additional ways to support the channel and earn extra credit, make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts on Staraptor, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're never late to class. Until next time, catch you later.